It is time to get out of pocket. I'm your host, Michael Davis, and we are live on Boom Broadcasting for a Friday with you. Now, if you watched our show yesterday, we did a quick show and it was awesome. But guess what? Today, we're going the full length, and it's going to be a wild episode. We got some NFL picks, obviously, to talk about. We got some rapid fire segment regarding the college football landscape. And I'll bring on my guests in a couple minutes, but while I did have just a minute to gloat, who won the NFL picks last week? Probably for the first time this season. I did. Let's go. How we did it was a point system, which helped me out greatly. We did the points where the Thanksgiving games were worth 1 point. The Sunday games were worth 2 points since we predicted it last Tuesday and didn't have episodes on that Thursday or Friday. I got the Cowboys game right. I got the Packers game right. And then I got the Chargers game right. I got the Steelers game right. The only game I missed out of the out of the six, rather, was the Baltimore Ravens losing to the Eagles. I was the lone wolf and was the odd man out in that picture. And then for our seventh game, we did the bet on the underdog. Neither the Bears or the Raiders could upset, but maybe we'll see some upsets later today or later this weekend. But guys, I can't do this show alone. It's not as fun. So I got to bring in my guys. One of them I usually beat on NFL picks. Not really. He's been kicking my butt all year. It's Mr. NY from Sideline Savants and 3 from Deep, Mr. NY, Jason Colenso in the studio. And we're also you didn't get your quick hits dose today. I told him to warm up, save those vocal cords for a special occasion like we have today on Out of Pocket with podcast_Smitty. Guys, this is going to be a fun episode. We'll get into the picks a little later on. But I was talking to my good buddy Jason right here, and we were having a back and forth through text messages, and we brought up a good point. And by we, I mean he. I will give him credit for this.
I appreciate that.
But Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions won last night, despite a weak start to the Thursday Night Football. This is why we don't include Thursdays usually in our out-of-pocket picks. But the Packers lost 31-34. It was probably the best Thursday night game we've seen yet. But Dan Campbell is just – he's a high-risk, high-reward guy. And it's worked out for the Lions pretty well this year. They're at 12-1. They have the best record in the NFC. But, guys, I started thinking about this when Jason brought up, like, you could have this style of coaching, and you may lose a regular season game. They could have very well lost last night to the Green Bay Packers. They didn't. But in the playoffs, it's win or go home. It is a one shot for all. And so I am actually, as much as a great coach Dan Campbell has been, I'm a little concerned about him leaning more towards the risk with, not as much guarantee that there will be a reward at the end. Jason, why did you bring this topic to the table today?
Because this has happened to Dan Campbell, and he hasn't learned from history. Shannon knows this. 2023 NFC Championship game. He's on the 30-yard line, 4th down. He can kick a field goal to tie the game. And Dan, mine are bigger than yours, Campbell, decided to go for it and didn't get it. And then what did the 49ers do? They went down and scored, went up by 10, and then the Lions ended up losing the game. So you would think, again, regular season, that's one thing. And look, it's exciting. I mean, you listen to Dan Campbell talk when he does his post-game speeches, and he's just the troops love him, and they will go to war for him and die for him. The Detroit Lions, since 2021, and I was looking up some of this stuff here, have gone for it more than any other team on 4th down. They've gone for it 125 times and have gotten it 66 times. So he's batting over 50%. He's 52.8%. So, they do really, really well going on 4th down, but it's already bit him before in the playoffs. And, you get Dan Campbell hyper. Look, he's got a great team. You got 2 monster running backs. You got a 4th and 1. But this is not like the Eagles and the tush push thing, and he's already blown a playoff game because of this. And it scares me because here we are again, the Detroit Lions, monsters of the NFL right now. My number one team in the league. I know you got KC up there, but to me, that right now, what have you done for me lately? Right now, the Detroit Lions are the number one team in the NFL, period. But I have a feeling that this is going to bite him again in the playoffs. And so last night, that made me nervous because you're on your 30-yard line with less than a minute to go. They need a score, and you're going to go for it on 4th down. That was a gutsy call. He got it. He's a hero right now. But if he would have not gotten that play and the Packers come back and win that game, we would be roasting him right now. So I just think it's going to be rough, man. When we get to the playoffs, that 4th and 1, he's going to want to go for it every time. And there are situations where you should not go for it. And again, history might repeat itself, and those Lions might be out of the playoffs because of Dan Campbell wanting to be Dan Campbell.
Yeah, and Wayne taking advantage of our live streams. This is why we do live streams for Out of Pocket, so you guys can be a part of the conversation. Wayne, the co-host, with Jason for Sideline Savants, agreeing about the wrong opinion, saying the Lions are number one. But Shannon, are you worried or concerned about Dan Campbell and his coaching style potentially costing a really talented team in the playoffs?
Before I answer that, I just want to say this. Considering the fact that it's happy hour right now, if Hold My Beer were a person, it'd be Dan Campbell. That would be him. That's him all day long. Now, to answer your question, I understand why Dan Campbell done what he done. Think about it, y'all. It's against Green Bay. It's the NFC North. The NFC Central for Jason and I, since we were around at that time. The NFC Central.
Yep.
These guys have been going at it for years. Detroit has had the Green Bay Packers be their Achilles heel for years. Ask Aaron Rodgers about the year that Detroit almost won the NFC North because he was hurt. And he come back and took it away from him. In Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay fashion. Unfortunately, that didn't rub off this year. I'll leave that alone. But this is an opportunity for Detroit to actually have a foothold on the NFC North and on the NFL. Dan Campbell cannot do any wrong in the eyes of the Detroit Lions fan base looking at you, Ryan Frick. That man is loved by Detroit, and they love him because of his gutsiness. I understand why he's doing what he's doing, but I do understand what my man NY is talking about. You got to be careful. You do. And this squad, I believe, will be careful. They're angry about last year. That's why they've been putting teams in the ground this year. They've put everyone in the ground Undertaker style this year. They've been doing that. They're making a statement. This is a statement year for the Detroit Lions, and I think this is something that Dan Campbell is doing right now. He's killing the ants with a sledgehammer. He's not leaving it to the field goal unit. He says, we're going to get it. This is what we're going to do, and these guys are absolutely invested in this man. I think he's that type of person who wants to go out swinging, then go out playing it safe, and then everybody looking at him like, why'd you do it? Us as fans, we all know it. How many times has our favorite team been on the 4th and 1, and they kick it, and we start cussing at the TV and throwing stuff? Yeah, go ahead and look down. Yeah, because I know I hit a nerve. I know I did, and that was my point, because I've done it many a times. Yeah. We've all done it. And if he wouldn't have done that, I guarantee you there would have been some fan out there that was out there saying, well, why did you go for it? You do it all year. And he would have had to go and answer that. So with that being said, Dan Campbell did what he does. It's a true identity for him. I'm okay with a coach who has an identity like that. Ron Rivera, what's up? I'm okay with that because you know he's going to do it. And he's looking at those guys saying, you better stop me. And if they do, cool. But if you don't, you better bring the boys back in here because you got 4 more downs to stop us. And he's giving an identity to that Detroit team that's not had an identity like that for years. So I'm cool with Dan Campbell doing that. And I think the fan base is good with that because they've got a football team they can watch. So keep it going, man. Keep it going. And if it does get you, then I'm pretty sure he'll meet the press and explain it.
Now, you did bring up a good point because that hasn't been the Detroit Lions identity. And by the way, Carson saying he does that against the Bills, he loses.
That's debatable. That's debatable. I mean, I want to see that. I really would. I would like to see that because
that's converging right now.
And you're right.
Lions.
And you're right. I mean, because Josh Allen has something to prove right now because there are so many people saying that Josh Allen is the only quarterback that needs to be looked at for MVP, and I believe it. So, hey, man, Carson, I want to see it too, man.
Hey, I've been on record that award should go to a running back this year.
Oh, me too, and me too.
So I won't go on my little tirade today.
Oh, I want you to. Do
it. Do it. Tirade.
Josh Allen's been good.
Wait till we get to college football. I'll beat you to it. Wait till we get to college football. Don't worry about it.
and hey, thinking about college football, mouthing off with Mike saying, let's go ASU. I'm sure he's talking about Appalachian State. Nah, just kidding. He's an Arizona State guy. He's a Sun Devils fan. Cam Scatterbo, dude, mouthing off with Mike, when he put me on Scatterbo, I was like, wow, like this is a gem. He called it before the rest of the national media picked up on it. Like, that is legitimate. He might be the new Christian McCaffrey, by the way. Now that McCaffrey, and we talked about this yesterday on Out of Pocket about, Tuesday. Oh, what a week, by the way. We talked about it Tuesday where McCaffrey might not be, McCaffrey anymore, if you will. But he's doing good. Scabo's doing good, and Arizona State's competing for the conference championship. But with Dan Campbell, like, I think people like Megatron, people like Barry Sanders would have probably benefited and loved a coach like Dan Campbell. But looking at how this atmosphere's microwave popcorn, like, give it to me now, I'm hoping that this high risk, high reward approach doesn't cost a good coach like Dan Campbell his job when people are super upset and like blowing up social media, asking for him to be fired for, maybe a blown call in the conference title game.
He knows the team he's got. I think now, granted, if he didn't have this team right here, he probably wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now. But he has the squad to do this because thinking about if he would have had that squad with Scott Mitchell at quarterback, Charlie Batch at quarterback, Joey Harrington. I mean, we can talk about this all day long because Detroit's had this legacy for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They've had some players that actually broke the mold at one point in time, but now that this is happening with the squad that he's got, he feels like he can get it every single time. He probably thinks he can get it at 4th and 20.
Now, Carson brought up a good point. He does that against the Bills. He loses. And I think Mac's comment right here was in response to that. If he does it against the Bills, at least this year, would that not be in the Super Bowl? So,
exactly. And
give or take, that would be the Lions' first appearance in the Super Bowl.
I appreciate Dan Campbell's, if he's going to own it, that's fantastic. But sometimes, you got to own it, but to a point. You got to do things smart. If you play too angry in the NFL, you make bad mistakes. And I would hate to see the Detroit Lions lose out again. Because, again, this has already happened. He lost that game, and he owned it. I give it to him. That's great. But how many times are you going to let that happen? And that fan base, yes, is starving for a winner, is starving for an exciting team. But they also want to see them get to the promised land. And if you keep making some of those decisions, and you don't get to the promised land, you're going to start pissing people off. So this is a double-edged sword for him. I love it. I love his passion. I want to go play for him, and I know I would get killed in the NFL. I'll go play for him right now. He is amazing mover of people, but you got to watch it. That could have backfired on him last night. You can't do this in the playoffs. Look, it's one thing if it's 4th down and you're on the 1 yard line or something like that, sure. But, when you're on your side of the field, when you can get points on the board, you can't give that up, especially in the playoffs, especially when it's going to come down to whether win or go home. Because if he goes home again this year because of one of those moves, you're going to hear it loud. And it's going to be louder than he yells, and he yells pretty loud.
Speaking of like coaching, speaking of coaching, since we're going to go into a coaching sense as well too, if he would go up against the Bills squad right here, the Bills coach has not been in this situation either. Now, if he's going up against an Andy Reid, if he is going up against a tenured coach who has been to the Super Bowl, has been to the playoffs, knows his way around the playoffs now, then that might be something else. If we're talking about coaching. That's one of the things that has to be understood as well, too, because sometimes these coaches can coach themselves into corners, and he can do that. And
I'm waiting to see the Lions and the Eagles. So you're going to have 4th and 1 versus the tush push. Oh, my God, everybody's going to lose their mind.
Combustible elements right there. Combustible elements. You don't know what happened. I mean, for real, the world might blow up when that happens.
4th and 1, it's crazy. Crazy.
Imagine who's going to throw the challenge flag first.
Oh.
It'd also be crazy. Mac, we talked about this yesterday on Out Pocket when Brett brought up in the comments, Belichick to UNC, not going to happen.
No.
I don't even know why they're doing their due diligence of interviewing Belichick. I don't know.
I think his girlfriend wanted to go to UNC to school. Isn't she like 20 years old or something like that?
There's like a 48-year.
He was trying to take her to college.
But
guys, we could go home right there on that comment right there. Belichick's like, I'll come coach your team if you give my girlfriend a full ride.
My girlfriend will be the cheerleader.
And that's a terrible thing right there, too, man. Come on, man. You're too old for that, man. That man's too old to be doing things like that, man, for real. He really is. But he wants to coach again. But I don't know if he wants to coach that bad. So.
No. It just seeing how the transfer portal is and it would be it'd be pretty tough. Mouth off with Mike saying wishing Campbell was his coach. Don't know if he meant the Eagles. Didn't know if he meant a personal life coach. But he could be a personal life coach, help you make more risk, maybe a reward. And they're going back and forth in the comments now. I'm not even going to read mouthing off of the Mike's comment. Max saying never the birds, which an update on that. If you looked at social media, Dad and the Boys will drop tomorrow in the Starstruck slot, and Starstruck is going to air on Monday. So Mac gets a few extra days to look at that injury report. He always does a good job letting the fans know who's in and who's out. And since Dallas has a Monday night game and we had a Thursday game last week, it's been a crazy schedule for Dad and the Boys with that partnership with Fans First Sports Network. Now, Mike, I love you, Mac Davis. I love you. Oh, man. Guys, Mouth Off Mike will be there for the nightcap for SmackDown. Can't wait to see what happens. I was with him Monday for Raw, and that was one of the best Raws of all year. And it's going to be a great time where he cooks up after SmackDown tonight. But guys, I want to do something a little bit different. We get to, change things up a little bit. So I wanted to do, before we get into the NFL picks, I wanted to do a rapid fire segment because we have a lot of football to cover. And because this weekend is college football and their conference championship weekend, Shannon, if you've been watching his Quick Hits episodes on Tuesdays and Fridays, he's done an incredible job covering the college football landscape. We had talked about this right before going on air. And so it is rapid fire, which means we have a few games. And rather than, doing Max saying accept the New Day angle. He still isn't over what happened with Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods. And he let it be known. He stayed up a little extra time for the Raw nightcap, like you guys should do tonight for the SmackDown nightcap. So we're not going to stay on these games as long as we usually do for the NFL games, but we do want to give rapid fire. So I'm going to give my panel, my esteemed panel, if you will, 30 seconds to tell me who win these games. And starting out with the MWC, the Mountain West Conference, we got UNLV and Boise State. That is Ashton Genty's Boise State Broncos. Currently, the Boise State team is favored by 4 points. This game is actually tonight, I believe, at 8 o'clock on Fox. So, Jason, starting with you, 30 seconds or less, rapid fire, UNLV or Boise State?
Boise State. This is Ashton's time to shine. If he wants to win the Heisman, he needs to drop it tonight. Over 2,000 yards. The guy is a monster. I think this is if he wins this game and he shines, gets a couple hundred yards, couple more touchdowns, Boise State, they win this game. They're in the playoffs. So I like the blue field. Give me Boise State.
Give him Boise State. Shannon, where are you going with?
Okay, since there's no quick hits today, I got to say it. This is Friday. You know what Friday is for? Friday is for football. That's right. Now, the reason why Boise State's going to win this game is because this is a grudge match here. UNLV lost by 4 points to them in the regular season. UNLV had trouble with paying their players, but they had a backup quarterback that was second, probably their best quarterback even before the guy they didn't even pay. And they came within the thumb's length of doing it with Ashton Genty's last-second touchdown. But give me Boise State because of their defense. Their defense will go after them. They will make sacks. They will make plays in the backfield. And they'll give the ball to Ashton Genty. And Ashton Genty, Heisman. Let's go.
Shannon stole the words right out of my mouth. The last time these two teams played, Boise State sacked UNLV's quarterback 6 times. You know how many times UNLV got after the quarterback? 0. And that is because they can rely on Ashton Genty, who had 33 carries, 128 yards, and that late touchdown score to put them over the top. Give me Boise State as well. Coming up next, we have Mouth Off with Mike's Arizona State Sun Devils and the Iowa State Cyclones, both 10-2 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Iowa State, Arizona State, Big 12 championship. Shannon, who do you have for this one?
Okay, in this game here, Arizona State was picked to be last, finished last in the Big 12 this year, but the dominoes fell because Colorado, BYU, and Iowa State blew it to keep them inside of it. Give me Arizona State because Cam Scatterbo is the second best running back in the nation. He would be the best running back if Ashton Genty did not exist. He's a heck of a player, even though they're missing Jordan Tyson in this game. It doesn't matter because Cam Scatterbo has held that offense together, and the timely running game has been big, but Iowa State has been known to blow games, and they just might blow this game here with Cam Scatterbo running the football, the timely play pass, and the way that the offensive line moves defenders. Give me Arizona State. Shout out to Mouth Off with Mike.
Shout Mouth Off with Mike, and Shan picked against Brock Purdy's alma mater, his 49ers quarterback, to side with Mouth Off with Mike. Mac as well. They told us we were nothing. Jason, is Arizona State something or nothing?
They are something, man. They have definitely showed up this year. This is going to be a great game. I think these are two evenly matched teams. I think this is going to go back and forth. But give me Arizona State. They are playing with that chip on their shoulder. I think they have that up in the locker room that they were picked last. So, and, Shannon said it best. They got the second best running back in the league. So, give me Arizona State all day long. I think they're going to pull it out. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be a great game. But Arizona State, I think, is going to pull it out.
Mouth Off of the mic saying Tyson out the full season. Scabo, 175 scrimmage yards, 3 touchdowns, and win by 6. I'm just going to say this. I love you, Mouth Off of Mike. Give me Arizona State. Give me Scabo. A big opportunity. Max saying Henry gets Heisman. I'm thinking he meant Travis Hunter. Who knows? we'll see. I know Mac a little bit. He probably meant Travis Hunter, but has Derrick Henry on his mind. Now that I'm with Mike with it right there. Thank you. I love you. The next game we have is the ACC Championship. The 17th ranked Clemson Tigers trying to make their way back into the college football playoff at number 8 SMU. Their first year in the ACC conference. They have only suffered one loss this year. And currently, this actually opened with Clemson being favored by 2, and Vegas has completely flipped. And now SMU enters this game as a 2.5-point favorite. Jason, Clemson or SMU?
SMU, again, knows that their path to the playoff is open. I love seeing SMU, that program, back in the limelight again. Is a little bit of a throwback here. Rashard Smith, again, you talk about maybe the third best running back. He's right up there in college football right now. I think they're going to run the football. They want to keep it out of Cade's hands, out of Clemson. Clemson just hasn't looked very consistent this year. So SMU's got them all day long. Give me SMU in this game. Plus, they're at home. So I think it's a lock.
Jason's got SMU. Shannon, would you agree that SMU wins their first ACC championship?
I've been back and forth with this game because there's times where Cade Klubnik has been an absolute stud when it came down to being in the fourth quarter. He was able to win games. But I honestly believe that SMU has 1985 in their minds when they had the death penalty. This is the first time that they have been ranked in the top 10 in 30 plus years. They've got that in their minds. Their coaches got that in their minds. Most of these players weren't even born yet. But it doesn't matter. It's just the fact of the legacy of this game. Clemson has had times where they just gave games away, and I don't see them coming up in the fourth quarter. Give me SMU because Rashard Smith, another running back, playing very good football right now. I believe he's going to have a very good game, and Clemson has had trouble stopping the run. So give me SMU by a touchdown.
Now, I would like to fix a technical error on the screen. I know the bottom ticker says Clemson at SMU. That was on your producer and host right here, Matt, calling us out. Not at home. It's in Charlotte. Bank of America Stadium is where the ACC championship game is. I'm going Clemson. I like Klubnik. He can make plays and he can turn something into nothing, or turn nothing into something, if you will. SMU, they barely escaped the Duke Blue Devils, so I don't even think SMU deserves to be in this spot. But it's based on records. It's based on the conference. They went undefeated in the conference, so obviously they'll be there as opposed to a Miami team. But give me Clemson and dabbing all over SMU. You're in the wrong conference, man. You are not welcome here. Up next, we have number 3, Penn State, and that is not at Oregon. That is against the number 1 seed, Oregon. It's actually at Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Indianapolis Colts. And for this game, Oregon is favored by 3.5 points. This is obviously going to be Oregon's biggest test yet throughout this entire year. And you could even say Ohio State was tough, but man, this Penn State team and this Oregon team, it's going to be a great game. Shan, how you see this one going?
I got a huge beef with this game right here because how in the world can anybody sit around here and say that Penn State has played anybody this season? The team that they played this year, that was somebody, Ohio State, beat them. They could not beat them at all. And they're going to have the audacity to have Penn State in the top 5. Get out of here. I think Oregon beats them, and I think Oregon beats them very, very convincingly. Give me 17. 17. I'm saying 17 points. I think that Oregon's going to blow them out. Dylan Gabriel should not win the Heisman Trophy, but he's the only quarterback in college football that deserves to even go there. There should be only 2 guys going, but give a third. But I think Dylan Gabriel's going to have a good game. Give me 17.
17 points. That's a little bit of disrespect from your Quick Hits host, Podcast Me. Matt disagreeing, going Penn State. Jason, be our tiebreaker right now.
Yeah, Penn State, they definitely do not belong there. They got beat by Ohio State, and Ohio State got beat by a terrible Michigan team. So Oregon is on a whole nother level. I've never seen a Duck beat the hell out of a Lion before, but it's going to happen this weekend. I can see 17-plus points. I think Oregon is just powerful. They have a better offense. Gabriel, I think he's essentially, going to be a top draft pick in the NFL. So this is his resume right now. So I think this game, he's going to go out there and try to sling for 4, 5, 6 touchdowns. So the Ducks walk all over them. Penn State, sorry.
Wow. And now the off of the mic, Shannon, big on the Ducks. Quack, Ducks rolling. So Jason has Oregon. Shannon has Oregon. Mac has Penn State. Mouth off with Mike has Oregon as well. But look at what Penn State's done. They're usually only giving up about 14 points.
Who have they played?
14 points a game?
Who have they played?
Okay, they did the only loss Penn State's had is Ohio State.
So what?
Okay, they lost 20-13.
They played the back end of the Big Ten this year. They played the back end of the Big Ten, the butt end of the Big Ten. Yeah, I would look great against Northwestern and Purdue. They played Purdue. Purdue's a bad football team. Bad football team. Let them play a team that's going to be worth something. They're going to be shown right then. They'll show them the door.
I truly believe it's not going to work out that way. You could also say the same thing about Oregon. Who have they played? Ohio State and Illinois. They had similar schedules.
They won in Eugene. They beat Ohio State. They won in Eugene, and Ohio State had an opportunity to win that. Yeah, I know 12 men on the field is a month. I get it, and that should have been called back. I understand. However, not convinced.
I'm going to be convinced. I'm going to take Penn State, and I'm going to take the Nittany Lions, and they beat Oregon, and then that makes this 12-team bracket a lot more interesting. Like the Georgia Bulldogs, Texas Longhorns for the SEC championship Saturday, 4:00. Georgia enters this with 2 losses. Texas only 1. This is currently favoring the Longhorns at 2.5 points. Shannon, what do you see this going as?
One thing is for certain, I do not trust Carson Beck when it's crunch time. I don't. Now, mind you, with them winning ahead of time, great. But I don't trust Carson Beck in crunch time. Texas actually got the better of the turnover battle when they played them in the first game. And that's very, very scary. That spells disaster. But one thing I do know about Georgia is that Kirby Smart knows how to coach his way out of a paper bag, and he loves the SEC, and that is something that he wants to do. But Texas is going to get the best of them. Give me Steve's, give me Sarkisian, and the Texas Longhorns by 3.
Got this Longhorns by 3. Jason, where are you leaning?
This is a tough one, man, because this is 2 good teams. Again, this is going to be a great game, a good matchup. I can see either one of these teams coming out of it, but I think Texas has played better this year. Look, the Texas Longhorns need to win this game and need the momentum to get into the college playoffs because they have spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort to get back to Texas football. They have been dying to celebrate a championship for how long now? So give me Texas in this. I think they want to win this game. Even if Ewers doesn't play well, they still got Arch they can throw in there. So they got kind of a 2-headed monster there at quarterback if they want to do some fancy stuff. Georgia, that has been they've been a little suspect this year because that conference has gotten a little bit weaker with all this parity in college football now. So give me Texas. I think they take care of Georgia. I think they're 10-3 this year, and I don't know. That's going to be tough putting a 3-loss team in the championship brackets.
And that's why I think the committee wants a team like Georgia to succeed, thrive, and win, but I don't think it happens. You ain't putting a 3-team there.
The reason why they do is because Bama and Ole Miss crapped the bed this year. And they gotta have a Georgia. They don't want a 12-man. They don't want a 12 team with Boise State, with with Arizona State.
Yeah, it ain't no one watching them games. They want eyeballs.
They
And Georgia lost to Ole Miss this year too. So I mean, they've laid some eggs this year.
Exactly. They do not want those teams in there. They don't want South Carolina in there. They don't want SMU in there. They want Bama. They want Florida. They want the big names, the blue bloods of college football. They don't want these teams in here because, it's like the NCAA tournament. We're going to be cheering for Oral Roberts in the Sweet 16. Nobody wants that. No.
You don't like Oral Roberts?
It ain't that. It's just the fact.
Man, what you got against Oral Roberts?
No, it's not.
Man, hating. Listen, college football wanted this. This is what happens when you get nil money. This is happens when you get transfers. You're going to get college basketball. So now you're going to have these teams that bubble up. All of a sudden, you got Cinderellas. College football has really not had Cinderellas like this in a very, very long time. So welcome to March Madness in December. It's crazy.
I can't wait. It's been long overdue because the BCS has been getting us for many years. They've been getting us. And this is what happens when you have a system like the BCS that calculates it, puts it in a computer, gives you the Scantron and all that other stuff. This is what happens when you get this. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not saying the Scantron. You know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, this is what happens when you get this. The SEC beat the crap out of each other this year, and a 4-win squad has an opportunity to play in the dang field of 12. No one would have thought that in the BCS. No one would have ever thought that. Not at all.
Mm-mm. And Rock Renegade, shout out to him for this comment. Upset's making this 12-team tourney more of a joke. Only fair way is the
basketball way.
Basketball way.
Yeah, that's the only.
What was that mean? Like 64 teams? No, I'm kidding. He's probably using all the metrics right there. That's a good comment. Mouth of the Alpha Mike, thank you for letting this be family friendly. Like Monday Night Raw will continue to be on Netflix despite other people's requests. Hey, listen, my Sun Devils are 8-1. Just saying, dog. Hey, it could happen. It could happen.
That's no disrespect to them because I would love to see Cam Scatterbo run all over the place, Ashton Gency run all over the place. I would love to see players because there are players in this. We got some dogs up in here, man, but they play for the wrong team, and that's the reason why. It's like Jason said it on the last Out of Pocket with the trade deadline. If Ashton Gency was doing this in Ohio State and he was doing this at Alabama, but I have a little something for you there, my friend. This is why it's null and void. Because if Ashton Gency were playing at Alabama, were playing at Ohio State, he would have NFL caliber offensive linemen, and he'd be running for 3,000 yards.
Probably, I would agree with that. Although I don't know about Alabama this year, but no.
I mean,
of yesteryear maybe, but
right.
Yeah, no, but this is why college football is the way it is right now, man. Just all these teams are bubbling up. You're getting these good players going to other schools, and they know they can shine. So it's absolutely amazing. It's a lot of fun, but I know a lot of, basic, I don't like this. I don't like these, small schools bubbling up and coming out of nowhere and being in the championship. A lot of these guys want those big colleges. They want Notre Dame to be in it, even though they haven't won anything in 40 years.
And that's all.
This is new college football. This is now college basketball. And I think, people are going to start buying into this because you're going to get those Cinderella stories. You're going to get some of these guys. They're going to start telling stories about how they've gone through adversity. And then, you get a lot of those. And that's what you see a lot in college basketball is you get a lot of the storylines. You get a lot of the backstory of these guys and how they came up and how they struggled. And you're going to get more of this in college football too. So they're really going to sell this, and this is going to get interesting. We'll see what happens with this 12-team tourney and how it turns out. But I think if this succeeds and they see the ratings and it starts making money, watch out.
That's all they care about is the ratings. With the 12-team, with the money, that's what it'll do. I could see these loaded conferences just continuing to load up too. With the SEC, ACC trying to get ACC trying to get SMU. There's nothing Atlantic Coast about SMU and Texas. They ain't nothing about it.
I give it 3 to 5 years. You won't see conferences anymore.
No.
I think ACC, SEC, I think all that crap is going to be gone. I think you're going to have the top 50 teams divided. Okay, here's East Coast, Central. It's going to be an NFL layout, and then all those other teams are going to be kind of regulated to lower conferences or put on the back burner. But I have the feeling, and the writing's on the wall, is you're not going to see conferences, Big Ten, all this stuff. I think that's all gone.
It's dividing.
It'll be gone in 5 years.
Divide and conquer is what it is. Divide and conquer. But that's going to take away the parity, because you don't have to sit around here and get a team like Boise State saying that you'll never get a spot at the 12-man. It's survive or die.
It's survive or die. Just like when you're doing NFL picks and you're going up against the champion. I got my championship right behind me. There we go.
That's your one. That's your one. You can have that.
Man, I've been waiting for so long. I've been waiting so long for this.
I'm here to tell you right now.
Joe.
We got him too.
Now, if you guys were wanting to know the results of last week, we did the point schedule where Thanksgiving games were worth 1 point. Sunday games were worth 2 points. If the underdog had won for any of us, that would have been 4 points. The underdog did not win. I placed with 8 points. Wayne, the co-host of Sideline Savants, was right behind with 7 points.
Good job, Wayne.
And the only difference with that was the Packers-Dolphins game. That would have tied us. So thankfully, Jason and I were right about the Packers winning. And then Jason and Cody tied with 5 points. Cody from the Drew Code Sports Talk. It's a YouTube channel. If you guys aren't supporting them, why aren't you? Because they're awesome, man. I was interviewed on that show, so I appreciate that. Smee got only decent 49er on the action figurine if you're watching on our YouTube feed.
I can go longer if you'd like. I got cards and everything. I got cards and all that, so we can go.
Man, but we got NFL picks. We are going to pick if Shannon's 49ers are going to win this Sunday. But guys, we got some games for us. And the first one I want to throw out at us today are the Atlanta Falcons at the Minnesota Vikings. And yes, this is the actual Minnesota US Bank Stadium they'll be at. There is no typo with that. The Falcons 6-6, Vikings 10-2. Vikings are favored by 6. Jason, I'll start with you. How you see this one going?
I'm done with Kirk Cousins. I think he's over. Geez, just throw him away. Get Penix Jr. ready. Let's go. Cousins, you're done. Him and Aaron Rodgers, put him in a boat and just send them off. Give me the Vikings. They're playing better. Much better defense. I just don't see the Falcons doing anything. They have completely fallen apart. They have some bad losses. I mean, Kirk Cousins, 4 interceptions. That's horrible. I think they're done. I think the Falcons need to look at next year and going to a younger QB.
Shannon, do you agree?
Okay, so the song that I have for Kirk Cousins is from the Steve Miller Band, Take the Money and Run, because that's basically what he's going to be doing, because the Vikings are going to be there and Penix Jr. is going to be getting an opportunity to go out there and play. So Kirk Cochains, it was fun for a little bit. We had a good time with it, but take the money and run. Give me the Vikings by 10.
Now, you guys are not considering what this game is. Kirk Cousins is returning to a place where he spent a good bulk of his career. The Atlanta Falcons still have a run game with Bijan Robinson, and Kirk wants to show that, hey, this Sam Darnold guy didn't come and do this job better than I am. So I'm with Rock Renegade. Give me a revenge game for Kirk Cousins, and I expect the Falcons to wreak havoc and help Dan Campbell have a larger lead in that NFC North.
Are you done? Are you done?
No, you know what?
Are you
Kirk's
done?
going to throw for 400 yards.
Are
That
you
team is terrible. Kyle Pitts cannot play against a good defense. So Kirk Cousins, no. I see him 4 more interceptions this weekend. At least.
Justin
At
Jefferson
least.
doing the gritty. He's gonna be doing the gritty and all that in the game. I mean, it's just too many weapons for Minnesota right now. Atlanta will put up a good fight for 3 quarters, but in that 4th quarter, it's a wrap.
It's going to be 400 passing yards.
Oh yeah, because you're
400 passing yards for Kirk and a win.
This is what you're doing. You bet on good Kirk Cousins. You know the Kirk Cousins is really, really good, really, really bad. I got really, really bad Kirk Cousins in this game right here.
If the Biden kicks in, he may get 400 yards, but you better hope that kicks in real quick.
Yeah, Max saying he did take the money, guaranteed contract.
But he didn't run. That's just what it is. He just didn't
Can't run. He got that bad Achilles.
But
he can limp.
He can chase it with the comments today
and just limp off.
What mood did Jason get in today with these comments? He's wilding up in here. Now, who else has been wilding with some comments is Browns backup quarterback, Jameis Winston. If everybody knew him back in Florida State, he was insufferable. But now he's like matured-ish. Praying for delivery from all the pick sixes that he throws. Either way, he's scoring either for himself or the other team. He might need LASIK eye surgery again, but the Browns did beat the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this year, and now they have the chance to sweep them. Cleveland is in Pittsburgh. The 3-9 Browns, 9-3 Steelers. You look at those records, and you're like, there ain't no way Cleveland could win. Jason, do you think there is a way that Cleveland could win?
Hold on. I got a rack of ribs in here somewhere.
Woo!
James, okay. Look, the Browns, I felt bad for them all year. You talk about a fan base that was looking for something. Jameis and Judy have given Browns fans at least something to be happy about. Nick Chubb, great story for him coming back. I'm going to give it to him. Look, his little quirkiness that he's got going on right now is working for Browns fans because it's easing some of their pain on the $100+ million guy that's on the sideline right now. So look, I'm going to give him some credit. They have been playing phenomenal. If Jameis Winston can just not throw interceptions, they would be fantastic. But asking for heavenly help is a little out of pocket. But look, this is a revenge game for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin wants to beat these guys bad because they shouldn't have lost to him the first time. So give me the Steelers in this game. Russ is cooking right now. He had you talk about 400 yards in an actual revenge game. So forget Kurt and whatever. Here, Russ, this is an actual revenge game for the Steelers. If George Pickens can just keep his mouth shut and just play some football, I think the Steelers got it. Now, the Steelers are a little iffy right now at running back right now. I think that's going to be a little bit of a touchy subject. But give me Russ cooking. I got the Steelers.
He's got the Steelers making the comment, Browns missing Baker. Maybe Baker wouldn't be thrown to the other team. Shan, do you think Jameis hits lightning in a bottle again against Pittsburgh?
You know what? All I got to say is, yes, Jameis Winston is doing some wonderful talking right now. If you're having a horrible day, if you're having a bad day, go and watch some Jameis Winston interviews and quotes, and I guarantee you will be out of your slump in a heartbeat. That Jameis has been hilarious, and y'all know what I said about Jameis Winston. If he ran a daycare center, your kid will either come back with a broken leg or learn to make Chinese. There is no middle ground with this man whatsoever. You are going to get what you get with Jameis Winston, and what you get, sometimes it's lightning in a bottle. You're right. Sometimes it is lightning in a bottle, and sometimes it's a dud. So we don't know what we're going to get with Jameis Winston, but you're going to get some funny commentary. I will say this. He needs to consider commentary when he retires. I would love that more than anything. Oh, yeah. Something. He needs to do something with his voice and his wit. Now, on to the real game, on to the real football. Eating the dub is another thing. Yes, eating the dub, of course. But now on to the real football game. If you want to talk about Russ having a revenge game, this is a revenge world tour because I can't remember when it was that the Broncos played. When the Broncos played, I think it was Monday Night Football, and they talked about how Bo Nix goes at Sean Payton with no remorse or no pulling no punches, but yet that man done what he done to Russ. That didn't sit right with me. I didn't like that whatsoever. And Russ is on the Revenge World Tour. I hope he gets his point across in this game here, and I think that he will. Give me the Steelers. Give me the Steelers winning the AFC North. Give me the Steelers because I think they're going to do this. Yes, George Pickens needs to quit running his mouth, yes, but I think Russ is going to counter that with some very good quarterback play. Give me the Steelers.
And I'm just going to leave it here. Mike Tomlin is my coach of the year, not Dan Campbell, not Sean McDermott. It is Mike Tomlin for doing what he has with that roster and with the expectations coming into this year. He is the most consistent coach in the NFL, and he's been crapped on for quite some time. But now he's going to crap on the Cleveland Browns, and he's going to get his revenge from earlier this year. Give me Pittsburgh with a clean sweep from our panel. Next, we have another division matchup, the Seattle Seahawks at the Arizona Cardinals. Currently, the Cardinals are favored by 2.5, and this would get them back into that NFC West race. Currently, Seattle sits at 7-5, Arizona 6-6. Arizona started hot, cooled off a little bit, same with Seattle. So this is a must-win for both teams. Shan, how do you see this one going down?
I hate them. I wish they'd tie. I hate them. But it's all good. It is what it is. It is really cool to see that these two squads actually doing pretty good. You know, the neck and neck, and it's making it for good football, although it is at my expense that they're making it very good football. But I want to give it to Arizona. I got to give it to Arizona on this one. Arizona, I think, is finding some spark as we speak. And I think they will. Seattle's had knacks where they've given games away at the end. I think that they will give this game away at the end to the Cardinals. I really think that they will. And the Cardinals will win by a fluke. I think they'll win by a fluke play. Because Geno Smith, man. My cousin Geno Smith, he ain't really my cousin, but I claim every Smith. But Lord have mercy. There's been some times where he has goofed it. There's been some times where he's had it and gave it away. So I think he's going to have it and give it away to the Cardinals. I think he's going to.
Jason, do you think the Cardinals accept that gift around the holiday season from the Seahawks?
I don't know, man. This is again, tough game. You talk about a division that does not want – nobody wants to win it.
No one.
This is hot potato. No, you win. No, I'm going to lose next week, so you guys win. So Seattle, nobody wants to win this, but I think Seattle's got a little bit of a better team. Kyler Murray just still can't get over that hump right now. Look, he's been playing better. The Seahawks are going to be a little bit hampered. I know Walker's doubtful for that game. He might be out, but they still got Charbonnet. I need Decaf's a little banged up. But Jackson Smith and Jigba is my up-and-coming wide receiver stud. He is phenomenal. I think the Seahawks have a little bit better defense, and they can play better when they have a good game. Like these two teams, they can both lay an egg, but they can both play well. So if they both play well, I think the Seahawks play a little bit better than the Cardinals better. So give me the Seahawks over the Cards. I think they just start slipping. I think Seattle starts taking control of this division and actually wants to win it.
This is what happens when my squad does not win the division like they're supposed to. No one wants it. They were like, were we even supposed to be here? They're looking at each other like, what do we do now? I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far. This is what these squads are. These are what these squads are doing. The Rams are doing it. Seattle's doing it. Arizona's doing it. They're like, we didn't know. We didn't think we'd get this far. We thought
getting to the finish line and going, do we cross?
Do we cross?
What do we do? Just stare at each other and wait.
And Rock Rangate asking, would you say the winner of NFC West is 8-9, 9-8, or other? I mean, I think 9 wins is what this division's looking like. There's always that one division each year. Now, the way I see this going is do they rely more on Geno or Kyler? Both of these guys have 13 touchdowns. Both of them have similar completion percentages, but Geno has been asked to throw nearly 100 times more already this year. In addition, has thrown double the amount of picks than Kyler. So I honestly think just putting too much pressure on Geno rather than a complete team effort allows Arizona to win this game and make it a lot more interesting in that already unique NFC West experience. The next game we got are the Buffalo Bills that Carson praised earlier this show at the LA Rams, who may or may not want this division, but they have a much, much more difficult task than the Seahawks or the Cardinals have, for that matter. Bills, Rams. Jason, who do you have for it?
This is actually a little bit tougher because, Bills went from the Snow Bowl to now they're going to, LA. So this is going to be a tough matchup. Give me the Bills, though. Josh Allen is on an MVP tear right now. Right now, I think it's between him and Saquon Barkley. I think they're starting to really starting to bubble up and become favorites for the MVP. So I think he knows he's on an MVP tour right now. Give me the Bills. I mean, the Rams are playing better. They have some healthy guys right now. But I just think the Bills are too much. You got no answer for Josh Allen. They're rolling right now. They want to win. They know they need to win, especially if they want to get home field advantage, because they would much rather play the Chiefs or the Ravens at home than have to go on the road. So they know the path to the Super Bowl. They wanted to go through Orchard Park. So give me the Bills.
Given the Bills, Shane, you agree?
You know what? I really do. The Bills, one thing that has really been good for the Bills is that they don't have the pressure in the passing game like they did because, we talk about Stephon Diggs. He's going to Houston now, and unfortunately he got hurt. There was probably some times in that locker room where Josh Allen didn't get the ball to him more, and he just decided to be a jerk to him. And everybody looked at Josh Allen like, dog, you're the one that's being a jerk. But now that Josh Allen has more freedom in the passing game, he's trusting these guys more because he doesn't really have anything to lose in that passing game. And that's the reason why I think that Josh Allen is having the year that he's having, because he's letting these guys play. And of course, it does help that he's got a consistent back right now in the backfield as well, too. He's got
two.
Yes, exactly. Yes, two. They do. You're right. He's got that 1-2 punch in the running game, and then he's got the freedom in the passing game. So he doesn't have all that pressure on him like he did in years past. So I say the Buffalo Bills are going out there playing football the way they want to play it. So give me the Bills with this nothing to lose offense.
Now, and I'll be honest, you look at this game and you're like, Bills are better. Just everything on paper. Like James Cook helping out Josh Allen, an MVP candidate in a lot of people's eyes. Bills are on the road, and they're only favored by 3.5. So I started to wonder if, Vegas may know something that we don't know. But what I know is this. Aaron Donald ain't walking onto that field against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. He's not going to be able to disrupt. I don't know if there's any Ram player who can disrupt. The Bills have the second most points per game at 29.6 and hold their opponents usually 18.7 average. Guys, it's Buffalo. I tried talking myself into an upset, and I just couldn't. But what could happen is the 49ers could win. They are favored by 3.5 points at home against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. This is the first game for Chicago without Matt Eberflus. I'm going to wait to get Shannon's opinion. Jason, tell us if Shannon will be happy this weekend or not.
Man, it's tough, dude. I mean, look, again, that team, you talk about injuries and trying to overcome and still alive for the playoffs. A credit to that coaching staff, a credit to that team. The 49ers are phenomenal for even making it this far. you see what injuries and a lot of other things have done to other teams where, someone's gotten hurt and they've just completely fallen off, losing CMC, losing your wide receivers. But 49ers are still right there. I think it's going to be tough. I know you got Greedo. You're running back there. He's going to be in there. They had to pull some guys off the practice squad there to help him at running back. That's a tall task. I think the Bears and the baby bear, Caleb Williams, have something to prove. Look, they should have, and I should have gotten, if Matt Eberflus would have wore his wristwatch and actually learned how to tell time, I could have got the upset last week because they had a chance to beat the Detroit Lions. I mean, the Detroit Lions gave up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and almost lost to the Bears. So the Bears know how to play football. They didn't have good coaching. So I'm going to be curious to see what happens with them now that he's gone. I think they're going to play a little freer. I think they're not going to be afraid to kind of let it loose and see what they got. So I'm sorry, buddy, but give me the Bears over the Niners. I think the Niners, they've gone through. I mean, you can only get shot so many times and stand up. I think the 49ers are kind of going on the downslide right now, unfortunately.
Shannon, Jason's piling on you. Mac's piling on you. Can you defend your Niners?
Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and say this. I am a fan all day long. I'm a fan. But I'm a realist at the end of the day. I'm a realist. Yes, my 49ers have been hit with every single thing. They've been hit with bullets, bazookas, and then after that, they got a straw.
They just got an earthquake too. I mean, come on. Well, what else you got?
And then the straw came and broke the camel's back. The only thing that is saving my 49ers is that they're playing the Bears. Have you forgot? Have any of you forgot who they're playing? This is the Bears. You want to talk about dynamite? You want to talk about a ticking time bomb? You want to talk about this? Oh my God. Yeah, they got a new coach. And every squad that has gotten a new coach the next week has won. But not this squad. Because it's the dadgum Bears. And they're not going to snap this win streak. They're not going to do it. They're not going to stop this losing streak that they have. That's the only thing that is saving my guys right now. Because good Lord have mercy. If it would have been Minnesota, if it would have been the Lions, if it would have been the Bills yet again, they would have beat the tar out of us and another squad losing. But the losing streak is going to be snapped because the Bears are going to play very, very wonderfully until 2 minutes. And they're going to blow it. And they're going to blow it. They're going to play 48 good minutes of football and lose in the last 2 minutes. Because it's the Bears. Because it's fun. It's the Bears. Give me the 49ers.
Now, Shannon, you helped make my point, and thank you, that every team who has fired their coach this year has won the next game. Do you know why? Do you know why Chicago
because the cancer has been cut out.
Lost?
They cut out the cancer.
They lost the Commanders because of Eberflus. They lost the Packers because of Eberflus. They lost the Vikings because of Eberflus. They lost the Lions. All 4 of these teams could very well make the playoffs, and they lost because of their head coach. And their head coach gets on that podium, and he says, yeah, I'd do it again. And guess what? He'll have the chance to do it again. So he's not going to have the excuse of, it's the Bears. They always find a way to lose. Caleb Williams is finally, I've been saying it over and over and over and over again. Caleb Williams is finally going to be able to say he wins the game. Give me the Bears. Finally.
The Bears.
Winning. And now that brings us to this AFC West Sunday night football matchup. We have 2 more games to give to you guys. Chargers, Chiefs. being the second to last one. And maybe actually we'll have a bonus round of our wild card round. But guys, Chargers, Justin Herbert looking to pull spoilers on the Kansas City Chiefs, who have only been beaten by the Buffalo Bills. Shannon, who you got, Herbert or Mahomes?
Now, I'm honestly going to say that this is probably the only game where I'm like, but guess what? I'm still going with the Chiefs. I'm still going with the Chiefs, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm still going with the Chiefs. And yes, I know it's a 60-minute game. I was making a point. It's what I was doing right there, Big MD. I was making a point there. So, I understand it's a 60-minute game. I know. But if it was simulation on Madden, it'd be 50 minutes now. So, there we go. And so, with that being said, I like the Chargers. I really do. I like the Chargers. But I think that this whole maybe we can take out the Chiefs thing is going to get them. I think that's probably going to be the case. But to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man. So give me the Chiefs in another nail biter, and we're going to be mad. We're going to be throwing stuff at the TV. We're going to be mad. But give me the Chiefs to play forward.
Jason, do you agree with Shannon?
No. It's going to be 50 degrees and beautiful in Kansas City, so there's not going to be any weather issues. So San Diego's not going to feel totally out of place. The San Diego Chargers, and I hate saying it because, again, I'm not a Herbert fan. I think he's hugely overrated as a quarterback. But Harbaugh is doing something with that team, and that defense is no joke. So this is going to be a nice defensive game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Now, Chiefs still have a good defense. Look, I said it on Sideline Savants when we dropped my man, Wayne Thomas. We did our starts and sits. And I said to sit Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes has not been playing good football this year. He has not been hooking up with Jason Kelce, or not Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce's thinking of me. Travis Kelce. One of them Kelce brothers. They're all over damn TV all the time.
He catch the ball too. He catch the ball too.
Driving me nuts. Now I got to watch these guys all the time. They are just not playing well. And Patrick Mahomes is going to have a rough time against that Chargers defense. So give me the Chargers. I think they beat the heck out of the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs offense is in trouble. They got a great defense, and that's been saving them really all year. That and some ref calls. Oh, sorry. That's I was in the script.
Right.
Yeah.
No one loses their job, man. Raheem said that week, man, when the Falcons got cheated out of the game, I won't lose my job.
Yeah. But give me the Chargers again. I think they have a really, really good defense. The offense is playing well. I think the Chiefs are just they are probably the worst 11-win team I think I've ever seen. I don't even know how they've won that many games. It is unbelievable. They are a block field goal, a couple of stupid plays here and there away from being like 500. So it's insane. The Chargers are playing really, really well, and they're not going to have any issues in Kansas City. Now, I can see if Kansas City was going to be cold or snowing or something crazy, but it's not. It's going to be beautiful. So give me the Thunderbolts.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say, Jason, why I am picking the Chiefs is because they can win those block field goals. They can miss those calls at the very end, and they will find a way to win. They will find a way. And you know what? Quentin Johnston is going to find a way to drop that ball.
Woo!
Once the Chiefs realize that Quentin Johnston can't catch the football, the only guy they could use is Ladd McConkey, the rookie wide receiver out of Georgia. They'll shut him down.
Ladd Taylor is a beast, though, man. Watch out. He is a beast.
But it's not going to be enough to beat Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Kareem Hunt, Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Hopkins, Travis Kelce, Noah Gray. Can I keep going on? Xavier Worthy might even be a faster Quentin Johnston if he can catch the ball. Give me the Chiefs. I'm not ruining my picks by picking against them, which leads us to our wild card round. We have picked 6 games. We went a little over time, for your viewing pleasure, of course. But guys, we have a wild card round where I'll let you guys pick which of these games you want to decide on. Now, the options available are the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. Titans are favored by 3.5. Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins are favored by 6. Saints at the Giants. The Saints are favored by 5.5. And the Raiders at the Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is favored by 6.5. To qualify for one of these games, you have to be less than a 10-point favorite for these games. So between the Jags, Titans, Jets, Dolphins, Saints, Giants, Raiders, Buccaneers, I'll give Shannon the first pick. Shan, what game are you going with?
Well, you just had to go with me, did you, man? Because all these games are toilet bowl material. So if I have to choose, since I'm being told to choose first, I'm going to go with Jacksonville and Tennessee because I think that's probably one of the most obvious games because there's no Trevor Lawrence and Tennessee is bottom of the barrel. Jacksonville and Tennessee are going to duke it out to see who can score the least amount of points and who can blow the game the worst. So if I got to choose, I'm going to go with Tennessee as the safe bet, and they will only win by 6.
Only win by 6, which would, with Jax even winning would help you in the Vegas odds. It is weird. We're going to get Will Levis against Trevor Lawrence's backup. That is the game we were getting.
Mac Jones.
It's Mac Jones, guys.
We knew it, and I knew it too. That's the thing. I knew it. I mean, I don't want anybody to think I didn't know.
It's going to be rough. But he's got that. Max saying that he would have the Titans in that matchup as well as the Nats, Dolphins, Raiders. Jason, are you wanting to pick your own team's game or do the AFC West or Raiders Bucks?
That thing.
My.
Actually, my man Shannon took my game because I was actually the last 4 games. Will Levis has actually been fairly impressive. He's had 7 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but in the first 5 games, he's had 5 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And Nick Westbrook-Akine, again, Sideline Savants. You talk about a fantasy stud, 8 touchdowns in the last 8 games. So I'm hoping he gets number 9. So, but you stole my game. That's okay. I'm going with the Dolphins. That was my next game to pick. The Dolphins, again, I think they see a little bit of a path where they still might be able to make a little bit of a playoff run. So give me the Miami Dolphins. Jonnu Smith, again, Sideline Savants. You talk about fantasy football, fantasy tight ends. He has been playing out of his mind. Last 3 weeks, he's been over 20-plus points in fantasy. So Jonnu Smith and that Dolphin squad, give me them for the win big time.
And you guys understand how hard it was to pick what was going to be our 7th game. That's why we did our wild card round, because these are toilet bowls, like the Giants and Saints. But I'm going to go and pick the Buccaneers and Raiders game. I was not a Baker Mayfield fan. I really wasn't. But you know what? It is a lot better to have Baker on your team than Aiden O'Connell or Desmond Ridder. Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers could make a big impact in this game, but the Raiders are probably looking towards the draft to find a stable quarterback option. The Bucs are first in the NFC South. They have to keep up with the rest of the division, namely the Atlanta Falcons, who are going to beat Minnesota, just doubling down on that one. So I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers keeping pace with the Falcons, and both of those teams will be 7-6 at the end of this weekend. And guys, that is your episode of Out of Pocket. We cut the show into 30 minutes last night, and we went 15 minutes over. We got the overrun. We got it all worked out. But guys, we've had a lot of content brought to you by these people on the screen, by a lot of people you see in the comments. Jason dropping 3 from deep and Sideline Savants this week. Shannon, if you missed him this morning, he gave you 15 extra minutes today on Out of Pocket. In addition, he did drop quick hits on Tuesday. And then we have an interesting slot for this weekend. So some updates, some changes to the schedule. We had Out of Pocket today. We'll have Nightcap following Friday Night SmackDown tonight, hosted by Mouthing Off with Mike. Tomorrow, we will have Wrestling of Destiny, the wrestling podcast by our own Sean Lucas at 10 a.m. The man behind the mic will air at 1 p.m. tomorrow. And then the place is Starstruck. Dad and the boys. Dad, sorry, you got to get to spend a little bit more time with me. We'll do our Dad and the Boys preview for the Cowboys-Bengals game this Monday. We'll also do the NXT Deadline Nightcap tomorrow night, following that pay-per-view for NXT. Mouthing Off with Mike. Back-to-back nightcaps. We are truly blessed. I love you, Mouthing Off with Mike. Sunday, you obviously got your Gridiron Address hosted by our own Aaron Schneider. And on Monday, instead, we are going to drop Starstruck bright and early in the morning, Monday morning, before you get another 3 from Deep episode by Jason right there. And then, of course, Out of Pocket will be back this Monday. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. I'm going to try not to forget anybody. Mac, Rock Renegade, Mouthing Off with Mike, Carson. We had Wayne Commish in on the channel. And if I missed you, I apologize. Those are all the comments I'm seeing flood our screen right now. But, guys, I appreciate y'all taking time out of your day to join us for Out of Pocket. We hope you have an amazing weekend. Enjoy the college games. Enjoy the NFL games. And we will see you back here for Out of Pocket on Monday. Have a great weekend.
Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. We had a ball making it. Thank you very much.